I think one of the problems with COVID-19 was that we didn't have the extent of the trials in the kids' population before we said the vaccine could be rolled out. And of course, there were a number of countries that didn't roll out COVID-19 vaccine, I think with some justification in their child population.
Well, a teenage school student has died after contracting the flu on the New South Wales Central Coast.
It's tragic, isn't it? It comes amid a surge in flu cases, particularly among children, with health authorities warning there's been a 30% increase in children admitted to hospital with the virus. Let's bring in today medical expert Dr. Nick Coatsworth. Doc, good morning to you. At this stage, we don't know if this teenager had any underlying health issues, but this death is tragic and as well as concerning.
Oh, Carl, Sarah, whenever we lose someone in our community of that age, it's a tragedy for the family and for the community.
Today from the Global Lane, sudden death syndrome. It's no longer only babies. Working people and young athletes are suddenly dropping dead.
We have a health problem, a national health crisis. Unfortunately, the vaccine is a taboo subject.
I guess when we talk about influenza, it's very different to COVID-19, of course, because influenza can kill, and it can kill younger Australians, and in particular Australians under the age of 5 are particularly vulnerable. And of course we do have a way to moderate that, to prevent that, and that is through influenza vaccination. One of the consequences, I think we've spoken about it on the show, Carl, of the COVID-19 vaccine fatigue has meant that a vaccine that is available every year, which is the flu vaccine, has less uptake. But we really should take up the flu vaccine, particularly for the kids, because the kids are more vulnerable to flu than they are to COVID.
What if I get sick from a colleague here that's unvaccinated, even though I'm vaccinated?
I mean, what is the greatest difference between the two? Obviously, there's still a test for COVID. If you don't know which one you have, do you just go to the GP? Does it even matter?
Sarah, there's now rapid antigen tests, those rats that we became so familiar with that actually have dual influenza and SARS-CoV-2 testing. So you can pick them up from your chemist. Most of the chemists are stocking them at the moment. So you can tell that if you've got the flu. And of course that's important to isolate yourself, take it easy, and take yourself out of circulation for a couple of days, so we don't spread these things on.
Okay, in the UK, the medical regulator has approved the first vaccine against RSV for older adults. That's a significant development. They will at some point try and do the same with kids, but I wonder if in the public we're receptive to that idea.
Well, I hope we are, and this is difficult because we're onto our third respiratory virus in this very short segment, and they all do very different things. Now, RSV causes something called bronchiolitis in kids, and RSV is definitely an infant killer, and it's something that if we have a vaccine for it, we've been searching for it for many, many years, Carl. So it's a really exciting development. Of course, we'll trial it in the adult population. There are trials in the paediatric population, but it's going to make a big difference for infant kids. And personally, I'm really looking forward to it as an exciting development. And you know, doctors like me and others, we have a real responsibility now post-COVID to promote vaccine uptake. And I do understand that there's a lot of fatigue out there, but vaccines are critically important.
Well, the issue is going to be that the parents, unless they've seen years and years of this and the repercussions of it, possible ramifications of it, they're not going to try it on their kids.
It's just science, eh?
Mind-blowing, isn't it?
The other thing that I'm concerned about is that if I have another dose, then I may get complications. I've seen all these reports on the internet about fit and healthy people just dropping down with heart issues, and it's still not obviously established yet whether or not the vaccine caused some of these heart issues. But that's a worry for me, more so than getting COVID.
I think one of the problems with COVID-19 was that we didn't have the extent of the trials in the kids' population before we said the vaccine could be rolled out. And of course, there were a number of countries that didn't roll out COVID-19 vaccine, I think with some justification in their child population.
It's just science, eh?
Mind-blowing, isn't it? But what I can reassure parents in the normal circumstances, non-pandemic, it's literally tens to hundreds of thousands of kids that have the vaccines, and it's proven to be safe before they're rolled out into the population.
Good on you, Doc. Thank you so much for being with us.